What if I told you losing everything, the job, the relationship, the plan that you have for your own life might just be the perfect opportunity for you in your whole entire life? Hi, my name is Will King, and this is the Misunderstood Podcast, 10 Minutes.
My favorite auntie, she would always practice tough love. You know the kind who barely hugs but always checking up. Cursing you out, play fight like she gon' slap your face and turn around and ask if you hungry. Boy, gon' make a plate. The vertebrae, cause she forever had your back. Smoking Newies out the pack. She was the glue who kept the fam attached. But when you pass, I swear it.
Okay, loss of identity. What is loss of identity? When life forces you to start over after a divorce, a job loss, a career change, prison, getting older, becoming a parent, losing someone, you can actually feel like a whole damn stranger to yourself. Now, when you get that confused, that lost feeling, that is called lost identity. Now, I'm going to run through some key things that I did to help myself get through my dark times these last 4 years. Now, first one, I had to acknowledge what I've lost. A lot of times people, they go through these situations, these hard times, and not having a real clear idea on what exactly that they lost. I had to sit down and really focus and even wrote it down. What did I lose? 2, I had to actually accept the role that I played on how and why I lost what I lost. Too many times people go through these situations and they always tell the story that they're the victim, never claiming responsibilities on what they did in order for that loss to occur to them. 3, I had to ask myself, who was around me and were they good for me? And when I did that, I found out that a lot of people that surrounded me, family, so-called friends, they weren't really for me. And I'll dive into that a little bit later, but just keep that in mind. Then I had to find an unbiased resource to talk to. This is also pivotal. Being isolated and keeping to yourself can ultimately lead into some bad, dark times. I started off that way and I found myself in chronic depression, anxiety, and much, 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 much worse. Now, what I'm going to say is, for me, I tried therapy at first. Unfortunately, when I started that, I didn't have the financial means to pay, nor did I have the insurance to pay for a therapist. But if you have the funds, I will recommend you trying that route. But another way is actually finding someone who actually been through some shit. There's nothing better as far as education on every platform and any topic than people that actually went through some shit. They can give you the insight that a book can never, ever, or a degree give anybody. Spiritual advisor. I took that route too. Support from small groups and mentors. Nowadays, it's so easy to find groups that you can identify with, especially with social media. Facebook is one of those pivotal platforms that you can use. You can literally type in the search bar and just find any group for any type of niche. So I also use that a little bit, but not as much as you may use it. I personally, when I went through the dark, dark times, I ran to God. And luckily for me, I was able to find a partner, my girlfriend, my current girlfriend, who had extreme faith, more faith than I can ever put in words. And she kind of like led me or gave me a resource that was unbiased and true, as well as ultimately that led me to knowing her father, who has extreme amount of faith, who used to be a preacher and kind of gave me insights on things if I had questions. And this ultimately became such a pivotal resource that helped me recover and get through that. And if you have somebody like that or know somebody like that, I recommend, if you want to go that spiritual way, try that way. Another thing that I had to do, or the next step I had to do, I had to realize I had to start setting small goals. Often when we lose, we always try to come back big. And when we think about coming back big, we try to do things big. And unfortunately, that's not how we get to where we want to be. That big persona, that big comeback. It takes small, little steps. So I had to set small goals, small mini goals that I could meet. So what I did was I started doing things new. I started doing things that I always wanted to do, but never did. I hesitated or I put on the back burners because of, life and finances and all that. Now I'm at the point, I'm 40 something years old. This is in the fourth quarter of my life. There's no hope. There's no holding back. And what made me push that way or think in that manner was that as of late, I've had a lot of friends die. I had a lot of losses, and that really hit home. And that really kind of was like a wake up call, like, yo, bro, tomorrow's not promised. It's cliche, but it's true. So boom, I started doing things I always wanted to do, and you should do the same. Start taking up new classes, doing some exercises, make up a lot of small little mini goals that you can meet, or you don't have to hit them all, but the majority of them. And if you can do that, following and hitting those mini goals, before you know, you'll have tons of victories, many victories that will ultimately boost your confidence and your self-esteem. And that worked out definitely for me. I personally had to do a small goal that was small but big, and that was day to day not being my worst critic and stop putting myself down. Once I did that and conquered that, I was able to add on and do those new classes and stuff like that. It may seem small, but it's such a big step when it comes to recovering and building a new you. And then last but not least, journal and talk it out. I'm not a journal guy, but you may be. You might be a person that can sit in your room or find a quiet place or write down. Or even if you're a musician, create music that reflects what you're going through. A lot of time artists use this skill set, like Mary J. Blige. We all know the best of Mary J. was when she was going through some shit, right? If that's your thing, do your thing. My thing was talking out. I was able to, I'm a very open person. I love conversations, but I'm going to warn you, just as I'm telling you how important it is to talk it out, it's equally important for you to find out and make sure who you're talking to is for you. Now, I've made the mistake. I had to find out the hard way. I was going through my shit, and I mistakenly let enemies and I let nosy, miserable gossipers privy to my business and my weaknesses. And when I wanted or when I needed a response or if I needed advice, they had nothing for me. But what they did have was the ability to put my business out in the streets and making me the topic of discussions everywhere. And I promise you, that's not what you want. So if you're going to talk it out, please make sure that who you're talking to is for you in and out. All right. That's just a few steps that I took to get myself back to where I am now. I feel much better. My eyes are clear. I got a specific goal now. And I hope you like what I put out there. If you do, like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. This is the Misunderstood Podcast. This is open dialogue. Tell me how you feel. Write it down. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.
I could have been filled up with hate, but the faith, it wouldn't let me. I'd rather reminisce on the times I stole your Pepsi, and you was right behind me, just watching, basically let me. But when you said you big head, greedy ass, big eyes, sneaky ass.